Good evening. My name is Pastor Lyle Heap, and I'm pastor here at Central Branch of the Restoration Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm here, number one, to welcome you to our website. We're getting hit a lot from our website, and we appreciate the interest you're showing. We're also getting some questions that are coming across, and I wanted to let you know that we're going to be doing a series of lectures on our website over the next couple of months. We're going to be discussing some of our beliefs, where we came from, what we're doing, what do we believe in, how do we relate to the Utah Church, anything like that. I do want to introduce myself and let you know that I was a former member of the Latter-day Saints in Utah. I was born and raised in Utah. I was a fifth generation Mormon. I lived right downtown Salt Lake in the Pioneer Stake. We lived across the street, kitty corner from Welfare Square, so you can't get much more true blue Mormon than my neighborhood was. I served a mission for the church. Before that, I went to early morning seminary, went to seminary and high school, went to college, went to institute, went on my mission. I went to Uruguay. I went through the temple. I came home, got married in the temple, raised a family, and 6 years ago, I decided to leave the Mormon Church. And I'm going to I'll put a post on and give you the story of how I left the Mormon Church and how I found the Restoration Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But I want to explain to you that some of the topics that we're going to list here. First, I'm going to tell you that I want to hear from you. I hear a lot from a lot of you, but I'm going to put it out that you can email me at or contact me at centralbranchpastor@restorationchurch.net. That comes directly to me, and I'll read your questions and I'll answer the best I can. But we're getting a lot of common thread of questions that we had about our belief, and so I'm going to give you a list of the things that we're going to be discussing. If you've got other questions you have or something else that you'd like to hear or clarifications of any of the future things that we post on here, you're more than welcome to send me an email and communicate with me. And if we can, we'll discuss some of the subjects that you ask. I do want you to know our intent is not to bash the LDS Church, the Utah Church, as we call them out here. I live in Independence, Missouri now. All we're doing is educating you on that there are other churches out there that believe in Joseph Smith, the Book of Mormon, Doctrine and Covenants, Articles of Faith, anything else. There's just differences that we have, and here's a list of some of the things that we're going to discuss. We're going to talk about the Godhead. It's in Joseph Smith's writing that God is a spirit and he's unchangeable. That is a very big difference of what they believe in the Utah Church. We're going to talk about Brigham Young and talk about where he went with the church and why we don't believe in the things that Brigham Young teaches. We're going to talk about Emma Smith. Emma Smith's a wonderful woman, and I learned an awfully lot about Emma when I moved out here. She was a very intelligent woman. She was very loyal to Joseph. She stayed loyal to the church. She died a member. She chose not to follow Brigham Young. They had not a very good relationship together. And from what I gather, it all came about from her having the manuscripts of the Joseph Smith's inspired version, and she would not give those to Brigham because Joseph gave them to her for protection. And you've all heard from the Mormon Church that she sewed them in her petticoat and carried them over the frozen Mississippi when they went to Nauvoo. We're going to talk about polygamy. Did Joseph live polygamy? My answer to you right now is I have confirmation, and I will explain that in my testimony, that Joseph did not teach, preach, or practice polygamy. Now that's a big shocker for everybody, especially in the Mormon church. And I'll tell you how polygamy started in the church in Nauvoo. We're going to talk about our Doctrine and Covenants. Yes, we believe in the Doctrine and Covenants. Some of the difference in our Doctrine and Covenants is we have the lectures of faith. I found out later, after I left the Mormon church and did some studying, that the articles of or the lectures of faith were in the Doctrine and Covenants in Utah, but later on, after they got settled in Utah, it was taken out. Now, I don't remember which one did it, but one of the leaders took the lectures of faith out of the Doctrine and Covenants, which to me I found out was really interesting, because Joseph said that the lectures of faith are known as the doctrine, and the covenants are the revelations that everybody received. So I find it kind of funny to me that the Utah church doesn't have the Doctrine and Covenants. They got the covenants, not the Doctrine and Covenants. And that's just a personal joke with me. Sorry about that. The temple. We're going to talk about the temple. Do we believe in the temple? No, we do not believe in the temple as Utah church believes. We do not seal for eternity. That goes along with polygamy, and we'll talk about that later in next broadcast, one of our future broadcasts. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about prophets. Yes, we believe in having a prophet. Right now, our church does not have a prophet, but we'll explain that later next time in our presentation, because we're going to have a member of the He grew up in the RLDS Church, the Reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints here in Independence. And then later, when the RLDS Church became the Community of Christ, and the Community of Christ people believe they went into apostasy by some of their teachings, and people left the church. And that is when our church, the Restoration Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, was the one and only church in the RLDS movement that called the Community of Christ out of order, and they reorganized the church, and that's why we're called the Restoration Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And he'll explain more of that later. We're going to talk about feelings. How you felt in the Mormon church. We're going to interview some people. Now, I'm going to tell you that I was a member for 54 years. I served in leadership positions. Just to give you a little bit of insight, after I got married, served in the Elders Quorum president. I got tired every time we moved, and we moved a bit because of education and things like that. But every time we moved, I got put in as Elders Quorum president. And I said, isn't there anything else I can do? I'm tired of being an Elders Quorum president. Well, I got my wish. I got called to be a high priest, and I was put in a bishopric, served in a couple of bishoprics, and I also served in a member of the stake presidency. And I had been out of there for about 3 years when I finally took the step to leave the LDS Church. And I will explain that in the written account that I'm going to post on our website. Again, I'm glad you're visiting with us. We're getting a lot of hits, especially from Mormons Mormons that have left, and even non-Mormons. And I'm more than willing to share with you any of our beliefs, answer any questions. Just give me an email, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. I hope you'll continue to watch us and learn from us, and learn to see where we're coming from. We're good people. We're a God-fearing church. We're God-fearing people. We love the Lord Jesus Christ, and we love Joseph Smith. And I want to bid you farewell for a while, and thank you again for watching, and God be with you till we meet again.